Hello everyone, welcome to the fifth module of HUT 200 Professional Ethics. Our fifth module is titled Global Ethical Issues. In a previous module, we saw the importance of engineers as responsible experimenters. The relevance of this factor is increasing day by day as the world is becoming a global village through the integration of nations brought about by technology and cross-border trade. Goods and services are no longer limited to the local market. Every new innovation is open to the global village. Therefore, it is imperative that engineers be aware of the changes going on at a global level to tackle the different problems that they come across in their profession. Engineers, as part of several multinational corporations, will need to have a complete understanding of the repercussions that their actions and innovations can have on society and environment. There are mainly four important dimensions of global issues: multinational corporations, environmental ethics, computer ethics, and weapons development. We will be discussing multinational corporations and environmental ethics in this first part. Multinational corporations, popularly known as MNCs, are large business enterprises that invest and conduct business transactions in multiple countries. They are also referred to as transnational corporations. Ford, Toyota, Sony, Johnson and Johnson, McDonald's, etc. are examples of MNCs. A corporation can only be labeled as multinational or transnational when it meets these five criteria. First one, they have investments and transactions in multiple countries that are at different levels of development. Second, the nationals handle the local chapters of these corporations. Third one, they have industrial organizations including research and development and manufacturing facilities in multiple countries. Fourth one, they own and handle stocks at a multinational level. Last one, they are centralized in the home country. Several Western organizations conduct businesses in economically developing and underdeveloped nations for a number of reasons, but they also provide the host countries with a lot of benefits. These benefits include fresh job opportunities with better remuneration, transfer of technology, and several social benefits including the accumulation of wealth. The benefits for the MNCs include cheap labor, availability of natural resources, flexible and favorable tax arrangements. While there are advantages for the MNCs conducting their businesses in foreign countries, there are complications as well. Apart from many economic and social complications, they also lead to several moral and ethical questions, such as who benefits and loses more when MNCs outsource? Who will have control over the resources and trade? Host country or MNCs? What are the moral responsibilities of engineering MNCs while conducting transactions in developing and underdeveloped countries? Technology transfer and appropriate technology. Another advantage of an MNC's operation in a host country is the technology transfer. It is a process of moving technology to a novel setting and implementing it there. Technology as both hardwares and techniques. Technology as hardware includes machines and installations. Technology as techniques include technical skills and procedures. Novel setting can be a foreign country, or in other words, host nation, where the MNC has decided to start its manufacturing unit. So there is a transfer of technology to new sets of conditions. But before implementing a technology to a novel setting, we need to take many variables into consideration, like physical environment and human values of that foreign country. That's where the expression appropriate technology becomes very important. Now, what is appropriate technology? Appropriate technology is the identification, transfer, and implementation of suitable technology and techniques to a new set of conditions. Appropriate technology takes into consideration the availability of materials, supply of energy, technical and managerial skills, and the physical conditions, and above all, human values. So there is identification, transfer and implementation of suitable technology to a new set of conditions. Now let's move to intermediate technology. So what is intermediate technology? It is the technological tools and techniques that people from the developing or underdeveloped countries can purchase or construct from locally available resources. Intermediate technology is designed with more focus on human beings rather than machines and are considered to be more harmonious with environment and traditional ways of life. Even though moral rights and securities in an underdeveloped or a developing host country be at a lower standard, it doesn't mean the MNCs can refrain from being morally and ethically just. MNCs should adopt appropriate measures to ensure the protection of environment, culture, human rights, and social values of the host countries. Some principles to promote morally justifiable measures include MNCs should respect the basic rights of the people belonging to the host countries. Second one, MNCs should respect the social and cultural laws and practices of the host countries. MNCs should help in the economic and social development of the host countries. Last one, MNCs should be concerned about the welfare of the employees from the host countries and should pay ample remuneration for any extra risk they might have to undertake. An engineer has to be vigilant of the effects his decision and activities have on environment. Development in its right sense has to take into consideration environmental, social and physical components also. Moral and legal obligations of engineers include: first one, conducting environmental impact assessment studies before venturing into any project. Second, fixing standards of emission of gases. Thorough awareness of environment of a place where the project is being conducted. Fourth one, asking for informed voluntary consent of people where the project is going to be executed. Globalization and industrialization have impacted the environment on a very large scale. An engineer must think about his or her obligation to the present as well as future generations. There are two types of concerns regarding the environment and two approaches which can be adopted to protect the environment. Among the concerns, the first one is health related concerns. These include pollution and resulting environment degradation, as these directly affect the human health. Non-health related concern. Engineers can also be concerned about environment when there is no direct impact on human being. An engineer must think about the negative effects an industry can cause to the environment and should also be aware of the solutions to such impacts. Now, moving on to approaches. First one is cost oblivious approach. In the cost oblivious approach, the environment has to be made as clean as possible without taking into account the cost. This is similar to the rights and duty ethics. However, it is difficult to uphold this in the modern urbanized society. Difficult to enforce as there can be multiple interpretations to, in inverted commas, clean as possible, and not realistic as one can never be oblivious to cost. Now, the second approach is based on cost benefit analysis. Now, cost benefit analysis is derived from utilitarianism, and the problem is analyzed in terms of the benefits derived by reducing pollution. The costs and benefits are weighed to determine the optimum combination. The goal is not to achieve a completely clean environment, but rather to achieve an economically beneficial balance of pollution with health or environmental considerations. There are four philosophical views on nature. They are: first one, sentient centered ethics. This ethics focuses on all sentient animals, that is, all living animals which can feel the pleasure and pain like human beings. Thus, in building a dam that will cause flooding to grasslands, engineers should take into account the impact on animals living there. Moving on to the next ethics, that is biocentric ethics. This ethics regards all living organisms as having inherent worth and gives emphasis on our duty to preserve it. This ethics gives respect, reverence, and affirms the inherent worth of all life. Next one is ecocentric ethics. This ethics emphasizes the value of each creation in the ecological system. This holistic approach by the naturalist Aldo Leopold urges us to have a duty to promote the health of ecosystem. According to him, a thing is right when it tends to preserve the integrity, stability, and beauty of the biotic community. The last one is human-centered ethics. This ethics focuses on the benefits of natural environment to humans and the threats humans can face if nature is distracted. If the welfare and safety of humans and their coming generations are at stake, then what is the need of exponentially growing industries? Sustainable development is a need of the hour, as it guarantees a healthy balance in the indices of social, environment, and economy. There are many concerned areas where new innovation and technology are needed. I will list out six main areas. The rising level of plastic disposal. It calls for efficient recycling methods. Second one is the toxicity problems caused by e-wastes, which demands eco-friendly designs. Third one, chemical waste disposed by some industries. Fourth, we need to counter ozone layer depletion. Fifth one, we need to think about reducing the level of global warming. And the sixth, there are threats caused by acid rains to the fertility of the land.